Okay, good morning everyone, and Chazak. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning as we are studying together Parashat Vayhi. Vayhi means to live. Parashat deals with the end of the life of Yaakov Avinu as he was ready to move on into the next world. Very interesting that the Parashat is called life when it deals with his death, which maybe shows us something about living. Living is not only something that we do here in this world. This is part of life, but there is also life after death. We believe in that as Jewish people. Not only is there life after death, but maybe there's even more real life in the next world. Person is really alive, but that's a much deeper conversation. But whatever it is, Parashat, Yaakov Avinu, on his deathbed, he's blessing his children. And the first one comes, his name is Reuven, and Yaakov tells him, Reuven bechori ata, you are my firstborn. Kohi vereshit oni, my first drop, my strength. But pahaz kamaim, you acted with haste, impetuous. Al totar, and because of that you won't receive greatness. Ki alita mishkebe avicha, because of what you did with my bed. Remember, Reuven, Pasuk says that he did something with Bilha. He moved the beds, or he was with her, whatever it means. But so Yaakov says to Reuven, you can't live life zealot, excited to do things quickly without thinking. You have to think through. Rabbis in Pirkei Avot, the first piece of advice they tell us, Hevu metunim badin. You got to be deliberate. Think it through. Sleep on it. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't act quickly. Reuven acted quickly. He lost a lot because of it. And he again gets to the next two brothers. And he doesn't bless them individually. He blesses them together. Very interesting that these two are blessed together. Everyone else is one. Each one by himself. Shimon and Levi together. And I want to read to you the Psukim. Shimon and Levi ahim. Shimon and Levi, your brothers. Kele Hamas mechorotehim, and you're speaking in English. Not working the English over here. Okay, Kele Hamas mechorotehim. You are your weapons are. Hamas, what's Hamas? Stolen. Lawlessness. Okay. Here it is. Shimon veLevi ahim, you are a pair. Kele Hamas mechrotehem, your weapons are tools of lawlessness. Besodam al tavon nafshi bekalam atehad kebodi, ki be'apam hargu ish ubritzonam akeru shor. With your anger, you slay a man. And Birtzonam, whenever you want, akeru shor, you'll maim an ox. Over here, Yaakov Avinu is telling his two sons, Shimon and Levi, that you're brothers. Obviously, we knew that. What is he adding when he says you're brothers? Now, and your weapons are stolen. So I want to read to you the Midrash over here. The Midrash says, Shimon veLevi ahim. What does that mean? It says the Midrash, ahim le Dina velo le Yosef. You were brothers when it came to Dina, but you weren't brothers when it came to Yosef. And he's giving them a little wink over here, saying that sometimes you were brothers, sometimes you weren't. You were brothers when it came to your sister Dina, but when it came to Yosef, you didn't. You sold him down the river for a pair of shoes. Kele Hamas mechorotehim. Continues the Midrash. Hakelim halalu shebeyetchem. These weapons you're holding. Gezulim hem beyetchem. These are stolen weapons. Who are they stolen from? Lemihem re'uyim. Who do they belong to? Limcherotehen. To the guy who sold his birthright. Le'esav shemachar et ha-bechorah. The Midrash is saying, Shimon and Levi, you guys are brothers. And the weapons that you're holding, they belong to Mechorot, to him. They belong to Esav, shemachar et ha-bechorah. What an interesting Midrash. Here he's rebuking them for what they did to Yosef. And somehow into the mix, into the indictment, he feels like it's also appropriate to accuse them of what they did somehow with Dina. He's throwing that into the story also. What does Dina have to do with anything? Why is that adding to the accusation? They did to Yosef is very bad. So just say that. You're not brothers when it came to Yosef. But he says, no, you were brothers for Dina, but not for Yosef. And then also somehow now that makes them a thief with the weapons that they used to kill the city of Shechem. Says the Devrei Shaul that when he's calling them brothers by Dina, that's not a good thing. He's not accusing them for Yosef and patting them on the back for Dina. He's accusing them with what they did to Yosef, and he's also accusing what they did to Dina. He's saying you were wrong twice. You were wrong there and you were wrong there. What do you mean? Yosef, I understand, that was bad. Accuse us, attack us, criticize us, rebuke us for that. But at least Dina we should get rewarded for. We were protecting our sister. We were doing something beautiful, heroic, brave. After they did what they did to the whole city of Shechem, remember what Yaakov said? Yaakov pulled him over. He said, what'd you do over here? You killed the whole city? You out of your mind? We're going to be vulnerable now. They're going to want to kill us. You're putting us on the map. Jews, we're supposed to be under the radar. What did they say to their father? They said one line. Hachzona te'aseh achotenu. Should our sister be a harlot? Is that a way to treat our sister? Nobody touches our sister. Nobody messes with our sibling. And at the time, Yaakov did not respond. The pasuk ends there. They said that, and the end, period, end of conversation, end of chapter. Next pasuk's a different chapter, a different story. At the time, Yaakov had nothing to say. They're acting out of brotherly love. I hear it. I hear it. But now on his deathbed, Yaakov realizes that what they said was false. After they sold Yosef, that undid their claim of brotherly love. It showed that there was something deeper that was motivating their actions to Shechem. If you really love your sibling, if you love Dina, then how come you didn't love Yosef? If what was driving your decision to kill a whole city was because of your sibling, then where did that drive go when it came to your brother Joseph? Clearly says Yaakov, your motivation wasn't only love for your sibling. This now reveals, what you did to Yosef reveals that even Dina was bad. Even what you did by Dina there was something there. There was an underlying factor. There was something deeper driving your actions. It wasn't purely love. It wasn't altruistic. This later incident in their life revealed that what they did earlier was not as noble as they thought. And he's telling them over here, what you did earlier, don't lie to yourself. Don't just excuse yourself that it was fine, it was because I love her. No. Kele Hamas. You did it because there's something inside of you. There's a tendency of violence that you guys have. Notice that. Fix it. Work on it. Don't come and tell me and tell yourself that it was purely out of love. Because if you were brothers and you loved her, then how come you weren't brothers to Yosef? Yosef reveals the truth about you to yourself with Dina. Must be what you did with Dina, there was something deeper. Kele Hamas. What you did over there was violent. Mechorot to him, you got that from Esav. There's a violence, there's a tendency here. And this is such an amazing lesson in life, that sometimes we have to really scrutinize our motives. We often like to use justifications for our behavior, for our flaws, for our imperfections, for our impulses. We like to cover them and mask them with righteousness. We lie to ourselves. Well, whatever we did, it was the right thing to do. I killed a whole city, but it was out of love. Love for my sister. Love for my sister, period. And we've spoken many times about this in the past, that not always does the Yetzer Hara come and convince us that we should do the wrong thing for wrong reasons. A lot of times he comes and tells us to do the wrong thing for the right reason. And when it's covered with a right reason, when the Yetzer Hara comes with a long white beard, very hard to defeat him. Because you don't think there's anything to fix, because it's pure. Or so we think. Mesilat Yesharim, when he speaks in chapter 6 about laziness, and he says, sometimes we're lazy. We have a tendency to stay in inertia, without moving. That's human. That's everything. Every object will not move unless something pushes it to move. We are no different. We're lazy. But he says, "Ve'ulam im tish'al et piha atzel." But if you ask the lazy guy, why are you lazy? Why are you procrastinating? Why do you sit all day and do nothing? Yavo lecha b'ma'amarim rabim. He'll come to you with many statements from the rabbis, phrases, excuses, psukim, logic from the brain, that all point in the direction of allowing his behavior. Lehakel alav, to lighten from himself. Vehu eneno ro'eh, he doesn't see that all of those arguments, they're just excuses. They're not coming from true weight measuring of the different sides of the argument. They're really motivated by his laziness. Here's a person who knows that they should be maybe running, working out, for whatever reason. Maybe in dating, they're told by everyone around them. And they understand, yes, it's true, maybe I should be a little bit slimmer to get some good dates. Okay. And all of a sudden, they're not doing it. And you tell them why? Why are you not doing it? They'll tell you, well, you know what? I thought about it. They should love me for who I am. They should love me for who I am. Is that really the reason? Or are you just lazy? And you're telling yourself they should love me for who I am because you're trying to cover up your laziness. Maybe a father yells at his kid. He's yelling, loses it. You go to him afterwards and you say, you really got to work on your anger over there. So what anger? No, me, I'm not angry. I'm in control. No, that was discipline. That's part of my parenting. I'm supposed to do that. That was calculated. But really, deep down, he's got anger management. He has rage. He's stressed. He's frustrated. He feels as a parent, as a failure maybe for not doing what he's supposed to. He has to teach his values to his kid. Whatever the reason is. So he loses it. Instead of saying afterwards, I lost it. You're right. It was not good what I did. I got to try better for next time. He lies to himself. Says, no. Discipline. Was that a love? I killed a whole city out of love. Dina, I love my sister. Really? You sure? Sure that's your motivation? It's not because you have a little violence in you? Person knocks other people in their avodat Hashem. Now, you could call that judging. A person may cover that up and say, I'm not judging. I'm not doing it. There's a mitzvah to rebuke. There's a mitzvah to rebuke. There's a mitzvah to help people, Rabbi. You're supposed to help people. And covering up with this fake answer that you're trying to inspire people to move, to improve. Maybe it comes from your insecurity. Maybe deep down, you don't feel good about yourself. So you feel like you need to put the whole world down so that you feel a little bit up. Person's gotta reflect on that. Person's gotta realize what's really motivating my yelling at the people in shul for talking. Why am I yelling? Am I yelling really because they deserve to be yelled at? Or am I yelling? Is something else motivating that yelling? This is where real musar comes in, my friends. This is where we learn the books. This is why we pray. This is why we introspect. This is why we learn Torah. This is why we have rabbis and therapists and a spouse and counsel. Nothing wrong with going and saying, honey, tell me before when I lost it, was that losing it or was that discipline? A person in work maybe ruins, sabotages projects of the people around them. Say, no, it's for the sake of the company, for the team. Or is it really for your jealousy? What's really motivating your actions, your behavior in life? Very strong lesson from the Perashah. If you ask the lazy guy, he'll never tell you I'm lazy. I work better under pressure. I canceled my appointment because I realized I didn't really need it to begin with. Right? I went to the dentist 3 months ago anyways. Who goes every 3 months? It's a 6-month thing. And we lie to ourselves. And the smarter you are, the smarter your rationalizations. People have mastered the art in this. And we all do it. We all do it. You're not sure if you should go to a wedding. And then you tell yourself, no, but really, I shouldn't go now because it's going to be, maybe it's going to be mixed dancing already at this point. There's going to be music. I don't know. Is that really why you're not going? Or is that the Yetzer Hara lying to you? Because it's a very important person that you should go to their wedding, that they would appreciate you going. What's really driving your decision? Is it your religiousness or is it your laziness? I didn't get invited. It was an e-invite. I have to wake up early tomorrow for minyan. It could be, but maybe not. The Gedolim, by the way, they always were on the lookout for this, to make sure that they're not being driven for the wrong motivation. So I'll give you an example. There's once a great rabbi. One of the students came for a haskama, to write a letter to approve of him and his books. And the rabbi actually wasn't sure. He didn't know if the kid really deserved it. To write a letter takes time, first of all. And it's saying that I approve of this fellow. So the rabbi was hesitating. And then he said to himself, 1 second, how do I know if the reason I'm hesitating is because I don't approve of the kid? Or maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I'm lazy. So what did the rabbi do? First, he wrote the letter. He wrote the whole letter. Now, there's no more lazy factor. He removed the lazy element. He's no more lazy. It's written. It's here. It's right here, printed out. Now let me see, should I really send it or not? Is the kid worthy or not? Does he deserve it or not? He was able to make the decision, removing the lazy factor. Unbelievable story. Unbelievable. The Chazon Ish, this is a high-level story over here. Chazon Ish, when he was, one time in the middle of the night, he was thirsty. So he woke up, he said, I'm thirsty, I want to go get a drink. Now me and you, when we're thirsty, what do? We drink. Chazon Ish, a high-level guy. So he said, wait, I'm going to go drink, give in to my thirst, my craving, middle of the night, like an animal. Just because I'm thirsty, I'm just going to give in. I'm sleeping, I don't need to drink. Then he said, one second, if I don't go, maybe I'm lazy. That's why I'm not going. So what do? I stay here, I'm lazy. I go, I'm giving in. So you know what he did? He got up, he went to the sink, he said, I'm not lazy, and now I'm not drinking. And he went back to bed. Unbelievable. You ask the lazy guy, he'll tell you, of course I'm not lazy. 1,000,001 reasons of why what he did was the right thing. But person who's honest has to check, has to investigate, has to introspect. What's really driving? What's really driving? Why I'm doing what I'm doing? Why am I the way I am? Smarter the person, the smarter the rationalization. Rabbi Twersky brings that he had a rehab center for alcoholics and addiction. He said he quoted an alcoholic who was in recovery. He said, "I never ever took a drink if I only took a drink if I believed that it was the right thing at that specific moment in time for me." Every drink he justified in his head why this drink was okay. And we justify bad behavior in life. It's a dangerous thing that we're all vulnerable to. We could all do it. So this is, I think, an amazing lesson. You know, when we give tzedakah, we gotta ask ourselves, what's motivating our tzedakah? Are we doing it to help, or are we doing it because we want people to think that we're generous? By the way, what's the solution for this? How does a person make sure that they're not being biased, that there's no agenda here? So Ramchal Vayhi says, Kol kula tzericha bidika. Every leniency in life needs thorough checking, investigation. It could be that your decision is correct. It could be that you shouldn't go to the dentist. It could be that you were right for yelling at your kid. It could be that you're right for disciplining the guy in shul for talking. But it's very likely that it's not. It could be driven by Yetzer Hara. You got to really investigate. You got to introspect. And if after everything you find that it was the right thing to do, then good. But then fine, good for you. But at least ask. It's very important in life to ask. We got to have a rabbi. We got to have a spouse. We got to have therapists. We got to have the people around us. When we're in it, we're biased. We don't see clearly. We come up with reasons, 1,001 reasons why. It's okay for me to do this, for that, act this, that, to steal. They owe me money anyways. If you're right, ask a rabbi. He'll tell you. What are you scared for? The fact that you're scared deep down shows that you realize that maybe you're wrong. Maybe there's something here that maybe I'm not so honest over here in this conclusion that I came to. So ask the rabbi. If the rabbi says, then you're good. If your wife says, you're good. If your therapist says, you're good. If she says it was fine what you did, okay, so beautiful. But make sure that you're doing it properly. Kol kula tzericha bedika. It's to thoroughly search and be honest and assess. Was it the right thing to do? Was it the wrong thing to do? Was I biased? Was it motivated? Something else over here mixed in? Why am I really doing this? Would I do this if no one was watching? But I still give that amount. Obviously, when you come to the rabbi with a question, you got to give the rabbi the full scenario. Correct. If you're going to give the rabbi half the question, he's going to give you half an answer. You're going to come and think, oh, the rabbi said. You didn't tell him the whole story. Do I have to make shalom, Rabbi? Rabbi, who's right? By now, I know whenever someone comes to me and tells me a story, I always take it with a grain of salt. Because their angle, through their lens, I said, I don't know, listen, I have to hear the other side. Often when I hear the other side, there's a lot of information that the first guy left out. And there's information the second guy left out. And as the saying goes, there's always three stories: yours, mine, and the truth. So, yes, of course, you have to tell the rabbi or else you're lying to yourself. You're asking the rabbi a fake question, and then he gives you a wrong answer, and then you take the answer and you say, oh, the rabbi said, you're lying to yourself. He's not going to hold anywhere. So what are you asking for? You might as well not ask. So it's important that we're reviewing our actions, especially when we're emotionally charged, when we're invested. We could be tainted, seeking guidance, mentors, people around us. Are we consistent? You love your sister, so why you didn't love your brother? Maybe it wasn't love. Maybe you liked the bloody dagger a little bit. That's what Yaakov tells his sons. You guys are Rahim, and today I'm able to rebuke you for Yosef, and today I'm also going to rebuke you for Dina. Maybe at the time you lied to me, you lied to yourselves, you said, no, I was motivated by love. All right, I bought it, what am I going to do? I believed you. But today I realize it's not only love, there's something else driving. We have to be honest with ourselves. Gotta be humble to admit maybe I'm wrong. And then we could transform, and then we could grow. Okay, we'll stop over here, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.